Sovereign Magazine podcasts. TLC, Infinite Wealth Mastery with Evelyn Okpanachi.
Introducing Esame Matthews, who is an expatriate management professional. She started her career working as a HR consultant, working for various companies within the professional services and financial services industry. She has now started her own company, continuing to provide destination services to various clients that require expatriate management. Welcome to TLC with Evelyn Okpanachi, Infinite Wealth Mastery, Sovereign Magazine podcast series. I'm really excited to introduce our next guest, Esame Matthews. Thank you for coming on the show.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me, Evelyn.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So to start off, I guess I'll start off from my university days. I started off doing a business degree and I majored in HR management. And my first job, I decided to start with an HR job. And there I decided that, yes, I do enjoy the HR side of things, but HR is such a huge arena. It was to decide which part of HR I wanted to major in. So I decided to really start working in expatriate management. My first role was as a consultant working for one of the big four. And it was advising various clients on how to manage their expat population. And from there, I had various consultancy jobs, always on the consulting side of the expatriate management. And then within the last few years, this is over a 20-year period, in the last few years, I decided that I wanted to go out on my own and start my own business, continuing with the expatriate management. But instead of being on the client side of things, I was going to be the service provider. So that's really how I decided to get into consulting and then decided to do my own business also with the expatriate management side of things.
That sounds awesome. And yeah, 20 years, that's a long time. So tell me what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
So as I said, I've been doing the consultancy side of things for many, many years, advising various clients on the expatriate management, moving their employees from one country to another. And I always found that we have to use various service providers in the expatriate arena. And I also always found that the various providers just were not giving the service that I wanted. There was always something missing from my side of things, or there was always something missing from the expatriate that was actually moving. So I thought that why not? Why can't I start? Why can't I provide this service? I've worked in the arena for so many years. I've got the experience. I know exactly what clients are looking for when they're looking to move their employees from one country to another. So I wanted to be something to do my own thing, really, make a difference. I know that every entrepreneur wants to make some kind of difference. Me too, I want to make a difference. So instead of being part of a huge corporation where change is so slow, I can come in, jump on board and actually just start providing this service, doing it at a high level and not having to be stifled, really, by working for a big corporation. I'm free to do what I want. I can move at the pace I want to move at, and I can move quickly. Working for big corporations, things take so long to get done. Whereas when you're an entrepreneur, you're doing your own thing, you're working for yourself. So you have to push things, you have to make things work, and it's done at an exceedingly quicker pace than it could ever happen working with an organisation.
That's really great. So can I ask, was there a major event in your life that led to this decision to become an entrepreneur?
I wouldn't say there was a major event. I think it was something that happened over the years. As I said, during the consulting side of things, things for me were just moving far too slow, and I wanted to move things quickly. And I just thought, you know what, this is the time for me to start my own thing. But then again, having said that, I was made redundant from one role, and I thought, well, this is as good a time as ever to actually go out and start my own thing. So yeah, I guess it would be the redundancy that it was, again, working for a big corporation. You're always at the mercy of a corporation, and they can tell you at any time when they're ready. They can use the word restructuring. There's so many different words they can use, but basically you no longer have a job. So that was the driver for me to say, yes, this is the time that I need to work for myself. I need to push on. I need to set up my own business and provide a service that I've been providing to other people for over 20 years. Why not start my own business and start providing this same service to my own clients? I'm not going to be at risk at redundancy. I can push things forward. And I can make a difference to my community. I can make a difference to the expatriate arena just because of all the knowledge that I've gained over the 20 years. So yes, I guess I would say that would be the turning point for me to move on to start my own thing and become an entrepreneur.
That sounds awesome. So your redundancy was really a blessing in disguise.
Exactly that. It really was. At the time, I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? But yes, it was a blessing in disguise.
No, that's awesome. That's very inspiring as well. So what does your business do? What is your name of your business? So you have given us a very high level summary, but tell us a little bit more about your business name, and also maybe how we can find you as well.
Okay, so the name of my business is Infinite 7 Destination Solutions. So what I do is I provide destination solutions to individuals and clients, big organisations, for people who are moving from one country to another. So Joe Blogs moving from London to New York. At the end of the day, somebody is moving, they have a job to get on with, and they're not necessarily going to know where to even start with the relocation process. So I can assist with finding them a serviced accommodation in the host location. If they have a family, I can assist with the school search. If they need assistance with finding permanent accommodation, also I can put them in contact with agencies so that agency can provide them with the lease negotiations, finding the right house in the right area. Expatriate management is such a big arena, and I've just decided to focus on just the destination services part, so that I'm the expertise you need when looking for somewhere to live in the host location, so I can provide an area orientation. So a lot of the time, someone may be going to Hong Kong, they have no idea what are the areas to live in, what are the good schools for their children, where to get a serviced apartment, where the local shops are, how things actually work in a host location. That's part of the area orientation that I provide. So I'm a one-stop shop really for anybody who is moving to a new location. I can advise them on the right areas to live in, again, the schools for their children. And I also offer a concierge service as well. So if there's anything in particular that somebody may need assistance with, so for example, if they need assistance with their shopping in the West End of London, I can assist with that. If they want advice on how to get tickets for shows, I can assist with that. So the basis of my company, of what I do, is to provide destination services, is to provide a solution to anybody who's relocating, so that it's taken away that challenge of relocating, and they can focus on the job at hand because they know they've got an expert that's handling all the relocation piece of their move to that host location.
Awesome, that sounds really good. So can I ask, you've already told us how you came up with the idea for your business. What problems do you solve? So what does your business solve?
So yeah, every business is here to solve a problem, and the problem that I am solving is settling in somebody in the host location. So the problem I'm solving is that they're not on their own. Moving is a very lonely process. You can feel helpless at some point because you just don't know who to speak to when you're going to a host location. So I can put them in contact with the right estate agents in order to do the lease negotiations, in order to assist with finding that house. Schools, if someone moving to Hong Kong will not necessarily know what are the good private schools to send their children to. They're not going to know what areas the good schools are in. I can advise with that because we've got education assistants that can assist with all of that. If you need short-term accommodation, so you don't necessarily need to be in a long-term accommodation, 12 months, where you need a landlord, you need to sign a lease. You can stay in a serviced apartment. A lot of people don't know where the serviced apartments are. They don't even know that a serviced apartment is an option, where you've got this furnished accommodation. All you just need to do is land with a suitcase and everything is provided for you. You've got your kitchen utensils, your bedding, everything is there. It's just a home from home for as long as you need it. It could be for a month, it could be up to 12 months. For as long as you need that serviced accommodation, we can provide that for you. And again, if you found a long-term accommodation and you haven't got furniture in there, we can arrange furniture rental for you. We can put you in contact with the right furniture rental companies. We can assist with all of that. So the problem we are solving is making a challenging move easier, so that the client, the employee, the expatriate, they can focus on their job in hand. At the end of the day, even though you're moving, you still got a job to do. You still need to make money for your company. We are here to do all the background stuff to make sure that you and your family are settled and are comfortable in the host location.
That sounds really great. So on that note, what is the best thing about your job? So yes, it's your business, but what is the best thing you like about your business and what you do?
So I like helping people, and the fact that a job well done will mean that an expatriate is settled in their host location. It means that the expatriate has moved. They've been able to focus on the job that they've got to do. Meanwhile, they've had somebody who's been able to help them find the right house in the right area. Their children are settled in their schools. If we're looking at the furniture rental side of things, that I've put them in contact with the right companies to get the right furniture that they need. And it's just a happy employee, a happy client. That is what I'm aiming for. They need to be happy with their move. They need to be comfortable with the house that they've settled into. Because at the end of the day, if an employee, a client, somebody has moved to a host location and they're not settled in their home, they can't do a good job. So my role is to ensure that they are settled in their family life, in their home life, so that they can get on and do the job that they've been employed to do.
That sounds really good. And I can see that you actually really enjoy helping people.
I do.
What is the most challenging? So saying that, but what is the most challenging part of your business in the role that you do?
The most challenging, I would say, is managing expectations. So if I'm working with a big company and they have given me a contract to find accommodation for somebody, for one of their expats, the challenging part is communication. The company may have communicated one thing to an employee and the employee has completely different expectations. I'll give you an example. The company may have said to me that the employee's housing budget for a month is going to be £2,000 per month. However, the employee, the client has said, well, no, I found this property in the West End. I love it. It's £3,000 a month. Ultimately, it's the company that's going to be paying for the client's accommodation. So it's managing expectations. The company wants me to find something that's 2,000. The client wants to live somewhere that's 3,000. So there it's managing the expectations so that everybody is happy, that the company is happy with the budget, that we can find something within that budget they have set. But at the same time, the employee, the client, the person that is moving, they also want to live in this fancy house that does break the budget. So managing expectations can be challenging. But you just have to find a way around it. Communication is key. Communicating with the client is paramount. What I find is that you need to set expectations at the very beginning of every move, so everybody's on the same page when it comes to finding accommodation and when it comes to setting the amounts for the rent and everything else.
Awesome. That sounds great. So what's the most satisfying moment in business so far?
I'll say the most satisfying is when a client comes back and says thank you, when they're really happy with the move, when they're really happy with the service that you've provided, when I've gone above and beyond and it's actually been recognised and the client appreciates that you have gone above and beyond. And I think it's just a successful move, that a move can take a month, it can take up to 6 months, but however long it takes, you always want the client to be satisfied and to be happy with their move and to be willing to use you again. Repeat custom is so important. So they need to to use you again, and they also need to recommend you. I think that's really important, and that says a lot for the service you've provided. If they do come back and say thank you, they do use you again, and they do recommend you to other people.
Awesome. Yeah, that's recommendation, and when people are thankful, it's really a good sign, isn't it? So
Exactly.
That's great. Okay, so some advice from you would be great. So what is the best piece of advice you can give someone starting their own business?
I would say just start. And a lot of the time I think I'm guilty of this as well, that you look at the big picture and it's like, oh my goodness, how am I going to achieve this? And you're thinking about your competitors, what your competitors have achieved. but start small. Just start. I think that is the most important thing, that just start the business, no matter how small it is. Just take that step forward to move to the next level. And know your market. Who is your market? Who this product that you're trying to sell, this product that you're trying to market, who is it for? Who is your audience? I think that's really important, knowing who your audience is, knowing who your market is. A lot of times I've heard in the past that you need to be really niche. No, you don't need to be really niche. Yes, it's fantastic to be niche, but you don't want to be so niche that nobody even wants to buy your product. So you need to do your market research. I think that is so important, to understand who your market is, who your selling is, what exactly is your product? What do you want your product to achieve? And think about it from a point of view that, would you buy that product? I think that's really important as well. That is it something that if you're on the outside looking in, that would you buy that product? Would you go to a client and invest in that product? So I think most importantly, just start. Doesn't matter how small, because growth is fantastic. And I think if you see yourself growing, that's a testament to your product as well. So you don't have to have have big ideas, but start somewhere just to move into that big idea. I think that's very important. And again, do your market research. Who is your customer? Who can be your client? And be niche. But as I said, I don't think it's that important to be so niche. I just think you need a product that will sell, a product that is appealing to the market. But just start. I think that's really important.
Thank you very much. That's really valuable. My final question to you is, how do you define wealth?
Oh, wow. That's an interesting question. I think a lot of people mistake wealth with riches, and I think they're actually two very different things. Wealth, yes, it's important to be in a position where you're financially buoyant, but I think wealth is so wide. For me, finance helps, but I think wealth also is peace. Wealth is also joy. Wealth is also giving back. You need to be in a position that you can give back to your community. You can give back to other women. You've got a success story that I believe that your journey should be a blessing to others, that your journey to wealth should encourage others to also start their wealth journey as well. Wealth is such a big word, and I don't think we can just focus on riches or finances when we're talking about wealth. Wealth, that is part of wealth, but peace of mind, enjoying what you do, enjoying the business that you do, so important. Helping people along the way, being in a position to help people up as they are starting their own business as well. What can you give to them? What nuggets can you give to them? How can you help them to also get up to the place they need to be? I think being a blessing to others is so important, and you need to be in a good position yourself in order to be a blessing to others, whether it's your peace of mind, whether it's financially. It's how you can be a blessing to others, how you can benefit others, how you can advise others. And I think wisdom as well, as that wisdom in what you are doing, and being able to pass that wisdom down to others as well, so they can also benefit from that wisdom. All of that, I think, contributes to what wealth is.
That's an awesome concept of wealth. Thank you. So this has been an awesome time with you, Esame Matthews.
Thank
you. I know you can be contacted through Infinite 7. So that's www.infinite7.co.uk.
Correct, yes.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sovereign Magazine.